Good day, students. I am Sir Flor, and this is Learn High School Mathematics with Sir Flor. Our topic for today is about angles formed by secants and tangents. This is a grade 10 mathematics. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, let us have here a figure on your right. So, there is a circle with center C. Now, let's have a secant line and a tangent line. And these two lines meet at one point, and the location of their intersection is on the circle. Let's have point A, and let us have another other points on this figure. Let's have theorem number 18, which is the tangent secant theorem. This theorem states that the measure of angles formed by a tangent and a secant on the circle is one half the measure of the intercepted arc, meaning to say that there are two angles on the figure. We have here angle BAD and angle FAB. Now, their intercepted arcs are the following. The intercepted arcs of the intercepted arc of angle BAD is arc AB, meaning to say, well, when we say intercepted arc again, this is an arc that is found inside the given angle. So again, the arc or the intercepted arc of the given angle BAD is arc AB. And of course, the intercepted arc of the angle FAB is major arc AEB. I hope that you get this. So, based from the theorem that you've seen today, there is a formula that you need to remember. So, the first one here is let's have angle BAD. So, the formula for this theorem for this angle BAD is actually equal to half of the measure of the intercepted arc AB. Remember, on that theorem, it says that the measure of one angle that is formed by a tangent and a secant is actually equal to the half of the intercepted arc. So the first angle, which is angle BAD, is actually equal to the half of the measure of arc AB. There is another angle, which is angle FAB. The intercepted arc of the angle FAB is major arc AEB. Now, to find out the measure of the angle FAB, we have to get a half of the major arc AEB. And this major arc AEB is your intercepted arc under the angle FAB. So therefore, measure of angle FAB is equivalent to one half the measure of the major arc AEB. So you have to remember the measure of that angle is half of the given or half of the intercepted arc. I hope that you get this. Let's have a problems regarding this theorem 18. Let's have example problems. Number 1. If measure of angle BAD is 65 degrees, what is measure of arc AB? So, on this problem, let's say this is angle BAD. Okay? So, this is angle BAD. So, you have to label or locate the angle which is BAD. Now, this is your angle and your intercepted arc here is arc AB. Meaning, with this figure, so what we are going to do is you have to solve for the measure of arc AB. Remember, if your angle or if the given is if there's an given angle and you are asked you to find the measure of the arc, Remember that you have to multiply this by 2 always. So therefore, the measure of arc AB is 65 times 2, or your measure of this arc is 130 degrees. This is simple. Let's have number 2. Second problem. If measure of angle FAB is 152 degrees, what is the measure of major arc AEB? Try this first on your own. Pause this video to try. And when you're ready, you have to resume this video. Done already? Let's have this part. So remember, if you have a given angle or the given measure of this angle and you are asked you to find the measure of the major arc, what we are going to do here is very simple. If this is a number only, then you have to multiply this by 2. So therefore, the measure of arc AEB is actually equal to, let's have 152 times 2, which is 4, and we have 10, we have 3. So 304 degrees. If you will calculate this in your calculator. If you want to prove this, then there is a proof. So we have, so if you going back to the equation or the formula, which is the measure of angle FAB is actually equal to 1/2 of the measure of arc AEB. Okay, so we have here measure of angle FAB is 152 degrees is equal to 1/2 of the measure of arc AEB. Now, you have to get half. To get rid of 1/2, you have to multiply this by 2. Such way, you have to remove 1/2 and 2 here. Then you have to multiply 2 by 152. So therefore, the measure of arc AEB, when you use your calculator, this is 304 degrees. Same on the previous example. Did you get it? I hope that you get it. This is very simple. Next problem. If the measure of arc AB is 142 degrees, what is measure of angle BAD? So a while ago, if there is a given angle or given measure of an angle and you're asked you to find for the arc, now it's it's the reciprocal now. So if you're given if there is a given measure of the arc and you are asked you to find out the measure of that angle BAD, instead of multiply, so what we're going to do is you have to divide this one by 2. So therefore, the measure of angle BAD is actually equal to 142 divided by 2 is 71 degrees. If you want the proof just like this, and then I will give you the proof before we go over to the next problem. So to prove, here is how it works. So therefore, this is if according to the formula a while ago, so the measure of angle BAD is actually equal to 1/2 of the measure of arc AB. So we have here a measure of arc AB which is 142. So in the same way, you have to find half of 142 to find the measure of angle BAD, such that our result is easy, 71 degrees. I hope that you get this example. on your own. If the measure of major arc AEB is 212 degrees, find the measure of angle FAB. Whoops! Pause this video. Try this first on your own. Do not proceed or do not proceed to this result if you don't try. When you're ready, please play this video again. Done already? I hope that you have now your answer. So what is the measure of angle FAB? So to find out the measure of angle FAB, again, there is a formula, which is 1/2 of measure of the major arc AEB. Remember that the major arc AEB serves you as the intercepted arc of the angle FAB. So therefore, what you get half of 212 degrees. So therefore, what is the measure of angle FAB? If your answer here is 106 degrees, then you are correct. So therefore, the measure of angle FAB is 106 degrees. If you get this correct, then you are a superb mathematician. I hope that you get this. What if the problem is now on algebra? Let's say if measure of angle FAB is 3x plus 29 degrees and the measure of the major arc AEB is 8x minus 6 degrees, how will you find the measure of the major arc AEB? So I will give you a tip on how to do this. First, you have to know the formula. Since that intersection of these two lines is on the circle, meaning on the circle, intersection on the circle, okay? So you have to get only half of the what? Get the half of the intercepted arc. Intercepted arc to get the angle, okay? So therefore, since the intersection here is on the circle, so we have to use the formula measure of angle FAB is actually equal to half of measure of the major arc AEB. Okay? Now, replace. So what is the measure of angle FAB? So we have to replace this with 3x plus 29 is actually equal to 1/2 of what is the measure of arc AEB, which is 8x minus 6. Then remember, if you have a 1/2 somewhere there in your equation, always remember that you have to multiply this by 2. Okay? Both sides of the equation, such that this one removes 2 and 1/2. And the other one use the distributive property. So therefore, 2 times 3x is 6x. 29 times 2 is, which is 58, is actually equal to, since we remove 1/2 and 2 here, so we have to rewrite this in the parentheses. So therefore, 8x minus 6. I hope that you follow. Now, what we are going to do next is you have to use the transposition. Transpose 8x to the other side and transpose positive 58 to the other side. So therefore, 6x minus 8x equals, we have here negative 6 minus 58. Now, you have to simplify. So therefore, 6x minus 8x is negative 2x is equal to negative 6 minus 58 is negative Then divide both sides by -2 to, to get the value of x. So therefore, the value of x here is 32. Are we done? Not yet, because we are finding for the measure of major arc AEB. So to find out the measure of the major arc AEB, we have measure of major arc AEB is actually equal to 8x minus 6. And you have to replace the value of x with the previous one, which is 32. So therefore, 8 times 32 minus 6. And 8 minus 38 times, 8 times 32 here is 6. We have here 8, 16, 24, 25. 256 minus 6. So therefore, the measure of major arc AEB is actually equal to 250 degrees. So the process of this one is the same as we go to the other theorem. Okay? So I hope that you understand this theorem number 18, the tangent secant theorem. Let's have the next theorem. Let's have another theorem. So let's say we have a tangent line and another tangent line. And these two lines intersect on uh, on the exterior of the circle, meaning they intersect outside the circle. Nasa labas po yung intersection ng dalawang lines. And that intersection, let's name as point A. And let's have the other points on this figure. Let us have theorem number 19. What does this theorem states? Theorem number 19 states that the measure of an angle formed by the intersection of two tangents on the exterior of the circle, meaning to say that the intersection of these two lines is now on the outside of the circle. If you've seen that there is an outside, take note of this one. This one is equal to half. Again, it's again the half, okay? Again, the half, the difference. So half the difference, if you see half of the difference, meaning the intersection of two lines is outside the circle. Half the difference, the measures of the intercepted arcs. Meaning to say, we have here an angle which is angle BAD. So let us consider angle BAD. Now, let us identify two intercepted arcs. Okay? So one of the intercepted arcs here is arc BD, and the other intercepted arc would be arc BED, or this is the major arc BED. Okay? So remember the two intercepted arcs. Now, the formula for this one here is measure of angle DAB is actually equal to half of the measure of the major arc, which is major arc BED, minus the minor arc, which is my measure of arc DB. So let us have an example. I hope that you understand this theorem, because for every theorem, there is a formula. Let's have a problem. Let's have first an example problem. Number one, if the measure of a if the measure of major arc BED is 216 degrees and the measure of arc BD is 144 degrees, how will you find the measure of angle BAD? So here is how it works. Since our intersection of two lines is now outside the circle, so what we are going to do here is you have to have this formula with the difference. Okay, the difference of these two arcs, meaning we have here measure of angle BAD is actually equal to half of the measure of BED, or the major arc, minus measure of BD, or the minor arc. Okay, so what is measure of angle BAD? So there is no measurement. Okay, but we have here BED, so let's have 1/2 times measure of arc, or major arc BED, which is 216, minus measure of arc BD is 144 degrees. So therefore, 1/2, let's have 216, so I will put here 216 minus 144. So therefore we have 2, 14, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, which is 72. Okay, so half of 72. Okay, so half of 72, so that the result, which is measure of angle BAD, is actually equal to 72 divided by 2 is 36 degrees. So this is your final answer. So if there is a part that is unclear to you, you can go back to the part so that you can understand and clear for that part. Okay? Next problem. If measure of angle BAD is 40 degrees and the measure of arc BD is 140 degrees, how will you find the measure of the major arc BED? Try this first on your own, because this is different from the first one. Pause this video, and if you want to know the answer, please resume this video. Please have solve it first before you continue this. Done already? So let's see if your answer is correct. Remember, the point, the intersection of point on is located outside the circle. If it is outside, therefore, their intercepted arcs must be subtracted. So therefore, the measure of angle BAD is actually equal to half of measure of arc BED minus measure of arc BD. Okay? So this means that 1/2 times measure of arc, or major arc BED, which is unknown, minus measure of arc BD, which is 140 degrees. And we know that the measure of angle BAD now is 40 degrees. Since we have here 1/2, so you have to remove this by multiplying it both sides by 2, such that you have to remove 1/2 and 2. So therefore, 40 times 2 is 80, equals measure of major arc BED minus 140. Remember, if whenever you remove 1/2 here into here, then you have to rewrite again the what's in the parentheses. So therefore, to find out the measure of major arc BED, you have to transpose to the other side of negative 140. So this is 80 plus 140 equals measure of the major arc BED. And adding with this one, this is 0, 12, 2. So 220 degrees is now your measure of major arc BED. So this is your final answer. If you get this correctly, then you are a genius mathematician. Next example. Algebra. If measure of angle BAD is 2x plus 14, and the measure of major arc BED is 10x minus 6 degrees, and the measure of arc BD is 5x minus 9 degrees, what is the measure of angle BAD? So again, in this figure, you can see that our, the intersection of these two is found outside the circle. So you have to um, you have to write first the formula, which is these two intercepted arcs must be subtracted. Okay? So therefore, measure of angle BAD again is actually equal to 1/2 times measure of the major arc BED minus measure of arc BD. Okay? Then what is the measure of arc, uh, not arc, but angle? What is the measure of angle BAD, which is 2x minus 4 plus 14, I mean, equals half the measure of major arc BED, which is 10x minus 6. A lot of students, okay, remember, a lot of students having this error that they didn't put a parenthesis after the minus sign. Remember, you have to put a parenthesis after that. Okay? So 10x minus 6 minus, put a parenthesis again, which is 5x minus 9. Okay? I hope that this is clear to you. Now, since there is 1/2, you have to multiply both sides by 2 so that you can rid of 1/2. Therefore, we have here this one and this one. So therefore, we have here 2, oops, wait, not 2, but 4. So this is 4x plus 14 times 2, which is 28, equals, we have here 10x minus 6 minus 5x minus 9. Our next step here is, since there is a minus here, as you can see on the circled red one, what we're going to do here is you have to change the sign of all terms in the parentheses. In such way, we can rewrite this as 4x plus 28 equals 10x minus 6 minus 5x plus 9. Then, combine similar terms. We have here 4x plus 28 equals 5x plus 3. Okay? Plus 3. Then, you have to transpose. So this will become 4x minus 5x equals 3 minus 28. And 4x minus 5x is negative x, is actually equal to 3 minus 28 is negative 25. Since we don't want a negative x here, so you have to change the sign both. So therefore, x here is 25. This is not yet finished because we have to find out the value of uh, measure of angle BAD here. So therefore, this is measure of angle BAD is actually equal to 2x plus 14. And this one, you have to replace the value of x with 25. So therefore, 2 times 25 plus 14. This 2 times 25 is 50 plus 14. Therefore, measure of angle BAD is actually equal to 64 degrees. This is how you subtract. Hi, this is how you solve, I mean, for the angle. So please do remember that a lot of students mistakenly solve that there are some whenever they solve, they forgot to put a parenthesis after the minus sign. So remember, if there is a minus, do not forget to put a parenthesis. I hope that you get this. Let's have the next theorem. The next theorem states this one. So we have here a tangent and a secant line. And these two lines meet at the location which is outside the circle. So this is point B. So take a look that the intersection of this tangent and secant line is found outside the circle. And let us have here other points on the figure. Okay, so what does this theorem number 20? So theorem number 20 states that the measure of an angle formed by the intersection of the secant and a tangent on the exterior of the circle, meaning nasa labas na po ulit, sa labas po ulit ng circle. Pag po nasa labas ng circle, remember that the arcs should be subtracted. Arcs should be subtracted. So therefore, half again the half the difference of the measures of their intercepted arcs, meaning there is an let's say we have here angle EBA or EBD or EBA. I mean, now there are two intercepted arcs that you need to know by this angle EBA. This one on the green part we have here EBA. Oh, wait, EBA. So this one in green. So EBA, this one. So there are two intercepted arcs, which is I prefer to use the violet ones. We have here minor arc ED, and the other one I may use orange, and my major arc AE. Okay, AE. Okay, so therefore the formula for this one here is the measure of angle DBE is half the measure of the major arc AE minus the minor arc DE. So let's have an example. So let's have another problem regarding this part. So let's say if measure of AE is 170 degrees and measure of arc DE is 45 degrees. How will you find the measure of the angle ABE? So here's the thing. Since the intersection of these two lines is found outside the circle, when you see outside the circle, then their intercepted arcs must be subtracted. Okay? Subtracted po tayo. So therefore, measure of angle ABE is actually equal to half of measure of the major arc AE minus measure of the minor arc DE. Therefore, we have here 1/2 times measure of major, which is 173, minus measure of DE, which is 45 degrees. Okay, 45 degrees. Therefore, one half, if you subtract 173 by 45, this is 13, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That is 8. And of course, 7, 6, 2, and 1. 128 degrees. And half of 128 degrees, this is 64 degrees. So the measure of angle ABE is actually equal to 64 degrees. I hope that you get this part. Next, let's have number 2. Try this first on your own. If the measure of angle ABE is 73 degrees and measure of DE is 56 degrees, how will you find the measure of arc AE or major arc AE? Pause this video to try. And when you're ready, please resume this video. Done already? Okay. So let's have your answer. Let's check if it is correct. So let's have measure of angle ABE. Remember, if point this point is found out, or the point of intersection of two lines found outside the circle, meaning their intercepted arcs are to be subtracted. So therefore, measure of angle ABE is equal to half of the measure of the major arc AE minus the measure of the minor arc DE. So therefore, we have here measure of ABE, or measure of angle ABE, which is 73, equals 1 half. We don't know the measure of arc AE, but we have measure of arc DE. So therefore, 56 degrees. Since there is again 1 half, again, you have to multiply both sides by 2 to get rid of 1 half and 2 only. So 73 times 2, which is 146, equals measure of major arc AE minus 56. And transposing 56 to the other side, so therefore 146 plus 56 is equal to measure of major arc AE. Okay? And then 146 plus 56 here is 1202. So 202 degrees is your measure of major arc AE. So this is your final answer. Eh, So, question. Did you get the final answer? If you get your final answer, then you are a superb mathematician. Let's go over to our next problem. Okay, let's have on your own. If measure of angle ABE is 5x plus 4, measure of arc AE, or my major arc AE, is 195 degrees, and measure of minor arc DE is 2x plus 7, what is the measure of angle ABE? Pause this video, and if you're done, please resume this video. Try this first before you answer. Done already? Okay. So remember, the two lines intersect outside the circle. So if they intersect outside the circle, then their intercepted arcs must be subtracted. Okay? So once they subtracted, then here's how. Okay? So let's say, where's my mouse? So let's say the formula is measure of arc ABE is actually equal to, okay, is equal to one half time one half the measure of the major arc DE. Oh no, AE I mean, because this is major. DE is a minor. So major arc AE minus my minor arc DE. Okay? Therefore, we have here one half times measure of AE. So major arc AE here is 195 minus, what is the measure? Oh, wait. I will erase first. So I will rewrite this again because this is algebra. Okay. So therefore, we have here first one is angle ABE. So the measure of the angle ABE here is 5x plus 4 equals 1 half. What is the measure of arc, or major arc AE, which is 195 minus, or remember, this is common mistake for all the students there. The measure of arc DE is 2x minus plus 7. Please do not forget to put a parenthesis. Then, again, since there is 1/2 there, so you have to multiply both sides of the equation by 2. So therefore, this is 10x plus 8 equals, since we remove 1/2 and 2 here, so therefore, 195 minus 2x minus 7. Why? Because since there is a minus here, so you have to change all change all the signs of the terms inside the parentheses. So we'll come up with 195 minus 2x minus 7. Then simplify, we have 10x plus 8 equals 195. Wait. 195 minus 7, which is 188. Okay, 95, 94, 93, 92, 91, 98, and 98. So 188. So 188 minus 2x. Then you have to transpose. We have here 10x plus 2x equals 188 minus 8. And 10x plus 2x is 12x equals 188 minus 8 is 180. Then divide both sides by 2. 12, I mean. Therefore, x here. So if we will compute this by the use of your calculator, if you don't know, so let us know first. So therefore, we have here 180 divided by 12. Wait, 180 divided by 12, this is 15. If you get this correct, then you are a genius. So, is this your final answer? Not yet, because we need to find the the value of we need to find the measure of angle ABE. So therefore, measure of angle ABE is actually equal to 5x plus 4. And you have to replace the value of x with 15 here. So therefore, 5 times 15 plus 4, which is 15 times 5, and you get this calculator, which is 75 plus 4. So 75 plus 4, therefore, the measure of angle ABE is now 79 degrees. I hope that you get this theorem. Let's have the next theorem. So let us have again a circle with center C, and we have here two secant lines. And as you can see that there is an intersection of these two lines which is located now inside the circle. Ibig sabihin po, nasa loob na po siya ng circle. Which is, let's have a point A. Intersection at point A. And let's have other points on this figure. Moving on to the next theorem, which is theorem number 21. This states that the measure of an angle formed by two secants intersecting in the interior of the circle is equal to 1/2, or half again, the sum of the measures of the arc intercepted by the angle and the angle vertical to it. Meaning to say, I will change first to Filipino first. Okay, so kung mapapansin natin dito sa figure na ito, no, yung A, kung mapapansin mo yung point A dito, ito yung intersection ng dalawang line. Pero yung kanina nasa labas. Ngayon dito sa loob naman. Ngayon, since ito yung nasa loob natin, so ang gagawin natin is we need to hanapin yung angle. Okay? Hanapin po natin yung mismong angle. So, ang angle po na hinahanap po natin is ganun pa rin, 1/2. Okay? For example, we have here EAF. Okay? An angle EAF. For example, this one. Okay? So, ang intercepted arc po ng angle EAF, etong part na ito. Okay? Pero ano yung sinasabi dito, the angle vertical to it? Pag sinabi pong vertical angles, ito po yung pair ng angle na kung saan magkabaliktaran sila. So kung ito yung angle natin, which is angle EAF, ang angle na vertical niya, ang ka-vertical angle niya is etong nasa baba. Okay? Kung itong given natin sa taas na angle, syempre, ang vertical niyan is yung nasa baba. Same with yung nasa kaliwa at kanan. Kung ito yung given angle natin, then nasa kabila ang vertical angle niya. I hope that you understand this. Ulitin ko ha, pag sinabi mong vertical angle, ito yung pair of angle na kung saan magkabaliktaran. Isa sa taas, isa sa baba. Same with isa sa kanan, isa sa kaliwa. Okay? So, I hope that you understand the vertical angle. Okay? Now, sabi dito, kapag ganito ang case natin, 1/2 the sum of the measures of the arc, sum naman ngayon kasi nasa loob na yung intersection niya. So kapag nasa loob, ang ano na siya, sum na po ngayon. So i-add po itong dalawang to. So sum of the measures of the arc intercepted by the angle, ito siya, and the angle vertical to it. So ito siya. Okay? So meron po tayong ganitong case. So, ang formula po nito ay measure of angle EAF is equal to 1/2 the measure of the angle EF plus measure of arc BD. Okay? Ang tanong, same po kaya ito kapag angle BAD na ang pinag-uusapan? Same pa rin po ba ang case pag ganito ang angle? Same pa rin po ba ang formula nito, which is 1/2 measure of arc EF plus measure of arc BD? Let's find out on the next one. So, magkaparehas po ba ang formula kanina pag dito na? The answer is always the same. Parehas pa rin. Okay? So, ang ka-vertical niya is parehas lang yung formula. So, therefore, measure of angle BAD is equal to 1/2 measure of EF plus measure of BD. Oh, katulad din sa kabila, dun sa left and right, kung ito yung given angle natin, so ang kukunin mo dyan is 1/2 of this one at saka ito. And same lang po kapag sa kabila na. Itong naka-green plus itong naka-green. Okay, itong arc na to ha, itong arc na ito plus itong arc na ito. I hope na naintindihan nyo itong itong part na ito. Okay? Kapag hindi pa rin masyadong naintindihan, balikan yung part ko na tinagalog ko na para sa inyo. Okay? Pag hindi pa rin po naintindihan, you can comment or you have to type a question on the comment dyan sa YouTube. Okay? Let's have an example problem. If measure of arc EF is 47 degrees and the measure of arc BD is 35 degrees, how will you find the measure of arc BAD? So, tingnan natin ang case natin. So, kung mapapansin nyo, itong point na ito ay itong point of intersection, nasa labas na siya ng circle. So, therefore, what's your formula? So, ang arcs po natin o yung mga arcs po natin ay ina-add po ito. Okay? So, therefore, measure of angle BAD is actually equal to half of measure of EF, ito po yun, plus. Kasi, nasa loob yung intersection. Ito siya ulit. Plus measure of arc BD. Okay? So, therefore, 1/2 of measure of arc EF is 47 plus measure of arc BD, which is 35. If you add this, which is 47 plus 35, which is 12. Mali yung pagka-carry ko. 1 plus 4, 5. 5 plus 3, 8. So therefore, half of 82, which is 41 degrees. So therefore, the measure of angle BAD is now 41 degrees. I hope that you get this. Pag hindi pa rin naintindihan, ulitin ko po, balikan niyo po yung part na medyo malabo sa inyo para mas maintindihan nyo ng maayos. Next problem. If measure of angle EAB is 115 degrees and the measure of arc DF is 106 degrees, how will you find the measure of BE? Please pause this video to try on your own. Whenever you're ready, please resume this video. Done already? Let's go to this part. So let's say measure of angle EAB is actually equal to half of, tingnan nyo ha, EAB, nandito na sa part na ito. So meaning, yung intercepted arcs po nila sa magkabilang yung intercepted arcs nila sa kaliwa at sa kanan ay dapat i-add. So therefore, B, a measure of arc DF, kahit magkabaliktad po itong dalawa ha, kasi plus lang po ito. Measure of arc BE. So therefore, 1/2 of the measure of DF, syempre 106 plus measure of arc BE. Since wala naman po itong measure ng arc, so remain as is. But the measure of EAB here is 115 degrees. Since we have 1/2 here, so you have to multiply both sides by 2. So that we have to remove the 1/2 there. So 115 times 2, which is, let's see, 115 times 2, which is 230 degrees, is equal to, since natanggal yung 1/2, so you have to rewrite this again inside the parentheses. So therefore, 106 plus the measure of angle, arc, I mean BE. And then, you have to transpose. So therefore, 230 is equal to 106 plus the measure of arc BE. And 230 minus 106 degrees, minus po pala ito, sorry na. Minus. Okay, ulitin ko ulit. Minus 106 is equal to measure of BE. So 230 minus 106, this is 124 degrees. This is the measure of arc BE. Chining! Tapos. Did you get it? I hope that you get it. Kung parehas tayo ng sagot, then you are a genius. Let's have another problem. On your own. What about algebra? Let's say if measure of angle FAD is 7x minus 1 degrees and measure of arc EB is 8x minus 21 and the measure of arc FD is 121 degrees, how will you find the measure of angle FAD? Pause this video, and if you're ready, please resume this video. Are you done? Well, here is the answer. Okay, since our intersection again is located inside the circle, meaning their intercepted arcs are added. So therefore, the measure of arc FAD, take a look at this one, FAD, nandito na po tayo. FAD is equal to half of, syempre, kaliwa kanan tayo ng arc. So therefore, measure of arc EB plus measure of arc FD. Okay? So therefore, what is the measure of angle FAD? So the measure of angle FAD is 7x plus, no, minus 1, I mean. Sorry na. Which is minus 1. Okay, so remove ulit yung isang medyo nagkakamali po tayo konti. Equals 1 half the sum. Since the sum, kahit wag nyo nang lagyan ng parenthesis, it's okay. But remember, students, that if there is a minus there, you have to put a parenthesis. Okay? So that is very, 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 very important. So therefore, measure of arc EB, which is 8x minus 21 plus there is measure of FD, which is 121. And since there is a half, so there is 1 half, so you have to multiply both sides by 2 to eliminate 1 half somewhere there. So then you have to distribute on the left side. So therefore, 14x minus 2 equals, you have to rewrite this. So therefore, we have 8x. We have here 21 plus 121. So, no. 121 minus 21. Pag hindi mo pa rin nakuha, edi ito na ang sagot, which is 100. Very good. So, plus 100. Then, you have to transpose. So, this is 14x minus 8x is equal to 100 plus 2. And 14x minus 8x, this is, if you guess it correctly, then 6x. I mean, 6x is equal to 102. Very good. Then divide both sides by 6. Okay? Divide both sides by 6. So therefore, your x is 17. We're not yet done because we are finding for the value of the measure of angle FAD. So therefore, the measure of angle FAD is actually equal to 7x minus 1. Then you have to replace the value of x with 17 here. So therefore, 7 times 17 minus 1. 7 times 17 would mean 119 minus 1. So therefore, the measure of angle FAD is actually equal to 118 degrees. I hope that you understand this situation. Now, if this is very, very unclear to you, please go back to the part which is unclear to make it so that you can understand as much as possible. Okay? So next theorem. So I think this is the last theorem. Our last theorem for this topic is this one. Theorem number 22. The measure of an angle formed by two secants that intersecting at the exterior of the circle is half the difference of the measures of the intercepted arcs. So we have here this one and this one. A while ago, if these two secants located the intersection of two secants located in the circle, this time, these two secant lines intersected outside the circle. Let's say this is point B, and we have here other points on this figure. So we have here an angle, which is angle EBF. Again, so this is EBF, so I will put this in green. So EBF. So this is the angle. So in this angle, we have here two intercepted arcs. The two intercepted arcs will be EF and DA. Remember, this is the bigger arc, and this one is the smaller arc. This one. Okay? So you have to look for the bigger arc and the smaller arc by analyzation. Okay? So therefore, the formula for this one here, since this is located outside the circle, this intersection of two secants, therefore, their intercepted arcs must be subtracted. So therefore, measure of angle EBF is equal to half of EF, which is the larger arc minus the smaller arc, which is uh, arc AD. Let's have some examples. For this last theorem, don't you worry because we're nearing to the end. Let's have another problem. So let's say measure of arc EF is 83 degrees and the measure of AD is 27 degrees. How will you find the measure of angle EBF? So here's the thing. So since the intersection is outside the circle, meaning their arcs should be subtracted. Therefore, measure of angle EBF is actually equal to half of measure of arc EF, sorry, arc EF, okay, minus arc AD. Oops, not angle, but arc AD, okay, arc AD. So therefore, 1 half times the measure of EF, which is 83, then measure of arc AD is 27. Then 83 minus 27, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, so 6. Then this is 5. This is 36. So half of 36, if you don't know, this is 16, I think. Oh, no, 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 no. Not 36, not 16, but 18. 18 degrees. I'm so sorry. So therefore, angle EBF EBF is equal to 18 degrees. So this is your final answer. Remember, when the intersection is located outside again, meaning you have to subtract the intercept. You have to subtract the intercepts. Try this on your own. If measure of angle EBF is 30 degrees and the measure of arc EF is 95 degrees, what is the measure of arc AD? Whoops! Pause this video first. Whenever you're ready, please play this video. Done already? So let's have this one. Again, the intersection is located outside. Therefore, their intercepted arcs must be subtracted. So therefore, measure of angle EBF is equal to 1 half the measure of EF, which is the larger arc, minus measure of arc AD, which is the smaller arc. Therefore, a measure of angle EBF is 30, and then there is 1 half. We know that measure of EF or measure of arc EF is 95, and then you don't know the measure of arc AD. And since we have 1 half here, so you have to multiply both sides by 2 so that you can get rid of 1 half. So 30 times 2, which is 60, equals 95. Since you remove 1 half here, so you have to um, rewrite again inside the parentheses. So 95 minus measure of arc AD. Therefore, 60. So therefore, you have to transpose. So therefore, 60 minus 95 or 60 minus 95, which is negative 35, is equal to negative measure of AD. Since we don't need to use the negative or we don't want negative here, you have to multiply this by 1. By negative 1. So therefore, 35 is equal to the measure of arc AD. So this is your final answer. Did you get it? Last problem. The last example. If measure of angle EBF is 40 degrees, measure of arc EF is 12x minus 9 degrees, and the measure of arc DA is 3x plus 4, what is the measure of arc AD? Pause this video, and if you're done, please resume this video. Done already? So here's how it works. So, again, the measure on this problem we have here, the intersection of these two lines is located outside the circle. Therefore, their intercepted arcs are to be subtracted. So therefore, the measure of angle EBF is actually equal to half of the measure of arc EF. So this is bigger arc minus measure of arc DA. Okay? Now, let's have this example. Let's have this solution. So therefore, measure of angle EBF, this is 43 equals 1 half. Half of the measure of EF, which is 12x minus 9. Oops, wait. We have here minus. We have here 3x plus 4. Then, to get rid of 1 half, you have to multiply both sides by 2 to get rid of 1 half. So, therefore, this is 86 equals 12x minus 9. Since there is a minus here, so you have to change all the signs of all terms inside the parentheses. So, therefore, 12x minus 9 minus 3x minus 4. Then, you have to simplify. This is 86 is equal to 12x minus 3x is 9x. 9 minus 4, which is negative 9 minus 4 is negative 13. And then you have to uh, transpose negative 13 to the other side. So therefore, 9x here is 99. Then divide both sides by 9. So therefore, x here is 11. We're not done because we're finding for the measure of arc DA. So let's say measure of arc DA is actually equal to 3x plus 4. Replace the value of x to this one. So therefore, 3 times 11 plus 4. Therefore, we have here 33 plus 4, which is measure of arc DA is actually equal to, you guess it right, 37 degrees. Oh, clap yourself. A round of applause. So, if you think that there is a part that is unclear to you, you can go back again to the part that is unclear to you. Now, if there's a thing that you cannot understand, you can ask a question based from this one, and I will answer to all your questions. This is very important for your test or quizzes. I hope that you understand all of this lesson. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe, and follow me on this YouTube. Again, I am Sir Flor, and this is Learn High School Mathematics with Sir Flor. Have a great day, my dear students.